So, it's finally here. Kodak's new camera, the new Super 8mm camera, finally seems to be coming ahead. A couple of years ago, there were plans originally released for it. I don't remember what the price of it was back then. I saw someone comment that they saw it being around $700 back then. So now Kodak has released a new Super 8mm reel along with plans that the camera is going to be released in spring 2018. And guess what the price is, people? It's actually $700. No, actually that would have been a good idea for Kodak. No, actually the price is going to be $2,500 to $3,000. Somewhere in that price range. Yeah. That's right. $2,500 to $3,000. Yeah. What in the world is Kodak thinking? I can't believe this. Like, this is... Look, I'm not a big cellular film guy. All my work has been shot on digital cameras. All the projects I've worked on have been shot with digital cameras. I like film, you know, to a certain extent. Like, I do respect it. It has certain attributes that certain digital cameras don't have yet. If you want to pay the extra money to do that, you know, go ahead and do that. But for this price is outrageous. If you love Super 8mm, I would be against it too. Because this feels like a ripoff right here. $2,500 to $3,000. Like, what the hell? And this article, by the way, that I'm reading this from, cinema5d.com, is from Graham Sheldon. He is an Emmy winner. He resides in Southern California and works as a producer and a DP, which is a director of photography, for those of you that don't know. The thing he writes here, he seems to really love this stuff, or something. Like, he seems to really love this stuff, and this part right here really says it in my mind. What excites me the most about this camera is the ease of use. It really does feel on the surface like the camera that will reintroduce shooting on Super 8mm film to a whole new generation of DSLR filmmakers and vloggers. What? No, sorry. Not at $2,500 to $3,000 it won't. Not at that price range. This camera should be at the most, I feel like I'm even stretching here when I see this, at the very most, $1,000. Because not only do you have to buy this camera, you then have to pay extra money to have it shipped to Kodak to process it for you every single time. You can't also just delete stuff, as far as I can tell. Maybe you can for this new camera. You can't with older cameras, but you know, as far as I can tell, you can't do that. You have to spend extra money. I've seen the reel for this. The reel is, you know, it looks like Super 8. It does, and that's cool. You know, if you're into that. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. It's got its own feel and touch to it, sure, but I don't see the value of it at $2,500 plus. And then paying extra for the processing. It's ridiculous. This Canon camera, which at the time I bought this a couple years ago, this was retailed at around $1,000, and I got lucky with it. I actually got this at $800 thanks to the holiday season. This camera, to me, shoots pretty good for what for the quality that you pay it for. Like here, you know, I've shot multiple different videos and films with this camera, and the retail price now for this is like $600. It's crazy how much the price has fallen. And also, here's the other thing: there's now 4K camcorders and 4K DSLRs that are priced around $1,000. And some a bit higher, the $1,500 range. Okay? That's at least $500 to $1,000 less than this 8mm camera. That's at least $1,000 and even $1,500. Sorry, I forgot for a second there. The price again is $2,500 to $3,000. Man, I mean, I don't see how this camera is going to reintroduce Super 8 film to a whole new generation of DSLR filmmakers. Yeah, maybe if you have super rich parents that are willing to pay $2,500 at the very least for this camera, sure. And even then, I'm sure there's some rich parents that are not going to pay that much money for this camera. You know, not all rich parents are film enthusiasts or cinephiles. Like some rich parents, they don't care enough about film to give a shit about that stuff. They don't. You know, maybe some younger adults who have their own income will buy this. I think you're setting yourself up for a bad investment right there. Unless you're planning to shoot a lot with this camera and you're doing it as a hobby, sure, maybe. I don't expect you to make a profit unless you get extremely lucky. At least with digital cameras, you have more of a chance of making some kind of profit off of it. I just don't see that whole concept when film camera lovers say film is superior to digital. I don't see it. I really don't. Like, I've watched The Hateful Eight on 70mm during the roadshow presentations. It looked good on 70mm, but it didn't look superior to 4K. I'm like watching it, I'm like, yeah, it's a good movie, I'm liking it so far. Where's this superior quality that all these film lovers keep talking about? You know, they talk about it as if 4K or 1080p is like the same resolution as 144 on YouTube, and 70mm or 35mm is the equivalent there is 1080p or 4K on YouTube by YouTube standards. That's what I'm trying to say. That's how it comes off to me when they say things like that, and I don't see it. Like, it's not that different. It's the only ever time I've seen it being different, slightly better with 70mm is with Dunkirk, and it only was one frame. It wasn't moving frames. It wasn't a moving picture. It was just one frame of an establishing shot, and that was it. And I'm like, okay, cool. So there is a very tiny, slight difference, but you barely notice that when you're watching the actual movie. You can barely notice it. You know, I don't see the superiority. I don't see it there. But anyway, going back to this camera, $2,500, it's ridiculous. This camera, again, should be below $1,000 at the most. It should be maybe $500 or $700. Because to me, you'll make a profit when you get people to start shooting with your camera. Because then you're going to make extra revenue when people start submitting and sending in those files to be processed into digital files for you to use on your editing systems. To me, that makes a lot more sense than setting the price at $2,500. This was $1,000 retail price when I first got it, and like I said, I got lucky with it. I got a discount. And to me, this shoots fine. It shoots decent quality. I'm not saying it's glorious. Obviously, a Red camera or Arri Alexa is going to be better than this. But like I said, for what it is, it shoots good. Most people are actually. I've had multiple experiences where I've shown people footage using this camera, and they didn't even know it was this camera, and they're like, "Wow, that actually looks good." I don't need to invest $2,500 plus $3,000 for a Super 8mm camera. I'd rather just go to an antique show or a flea market and buy an old Super 8mm camera over there. I'd rather take that $2,500 at $3,000 and buy multiple game consoles, a new PC, laptop, or desktop, a different digital camera that can do just as good, if not even better, than the Super 8mm. Like, this is ridiculous. I will be honestly shocked if this thing is a major, huge commercial success, because I just don't see that happening. To put things again into perspective, $2,500 at the very least. That's what the price range currently is for this. iPhone 10s, $1,000. And people are saying iPhone 10s, that's a bit much with the money there. But at least with an iPhone 10, you can shoot 4K. You have all these different options. You have all these different apps for filmmaking and stuff like that, like an 8mm filter app and different stuff like that. You don't need to spend $2,500 exactly. And this other thing from Graham Sheldon, he says this about other filmmakers, too, before I wrap this up. Film stock has had a rough go over the past few decades, but with the help of a few legendary Hollywood directors and some unique business pivots, Kodak seems to be steadily turning things around. Yes, those legendary Hollywood directors. Those same legendary Hollywood directors like Tarantino and Scorsese that grew up with celluloid. Okay? They didn't even have the option. They didn't even have the choice of to do digital. I bet you if they were my age now, do you think they would still be in love with celluloid as much as they are? I mean, there's a chance they could, but I would say probability-wise, no. They would probably be shooting on digital the majority of the time. Maybe once in a while they would be doing what I plan on doing, and that is shooting occasionally with 8mm or 16mm, just for, just to put it down on their bucket list that, like, hey, I shot on 16mm, I shot on 8mm. But do you think the majority of the time they're going to be using it? No, probably not. Probably not. Just gotta say it. Someone's gotta say it. So I don't fully agree with these filmmakers when they say, like, celluloid is superior or something like that, and because I don't entirely agree. These people, they came from a different time era, they came from a different place. Filmmaking was different back then. I honestly see many more benefits with digital filmmaking than I do with celluloid filmmaking. I can get into that in a later video. One being, it provides opportunities to more filmmakers to make their films. Like, you don't have to live in the United States or the UK to make a film, like, at ease. You have more access to the technology. Like the African filmmakers, like from Uganda, like Who Killed Captain Alex. And you can say what they want, you can say what you want about their films, but at least they actually made their films happen. Do you think they could have made their films when there was already a civil war going on in Uganda when he made that film? Do you honestly think he's going to be able to make Who Killed Captain Alex on 35mm or 16mm when that shit was happening, when that country was in chaos? Probably not. I mean, it was possible, sure, but, like, it would have been a lot harder. A lot harder. And this film may not have actually had much of a chance of getting seen or noticed because the internet you wouldn't have had the internet. I'm not totally against film. I don't mind the idea of shooting at least one short film on an 8mm or 16mm camera, but I'm not going to put down $2,500 for it. I think that's insane. I think that's ridiculous. I would rather rent the 16mm camera from a local filmmaking center in the city that I'm based out of, that I'm from. I'd rather just rent their 16mm cameras. Why am I going to buy this camera? I don't get it. Maybe they'll buy this Kodak 8mm and then I'll rent it from them or something. I'm not going to buy this thing for myself, personal use. I'm going to buy something like this, or a DSLR, a digital DSLR. I think it's too much money, honestly. And I honestly don't see the appeal. I have to also wait for the processed footage to come back, and it might be screwed up possibly. Maybe not. But, like, when I see these film lovers going like, see, Tarantino loves it, Martin Scorsese loves it, Christopher Nolan loves it, therefore you should love it too, or something like that. It's like, no. And I respect their opinion as filmmakers. They have their preferences, I have mine. And I respect that. That being said, I still don't see this huge value that some celluloid film lovers have for film. As far as I can tell, I'm still going to be using digital the majority of the time. Thank you for watching this video of me from West Productions 100. Be sure to check out my other videos as well, and also check out my other channel, Twilight City Studios, where I upload my own short films and my own short videos. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.